Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Splash Live. I'm your host, Jonathan Montgomery. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a great show for you. As temperatures continue to climb across southeast Michigan, the West Bloomfield Fire Department is reminding residents to take the summer heat seriously. Extreme heat can quickly become dangerous, especially for young children, older adults, and anyone spending extended time outdoors. The department is encouraging everyone to stay hydrated, limit outdoor activity during the hottest parts of the day, and checking on neighbors who may be more vulnerable. Here's an important reminder on staying safe during the heat wave.
I'm Ryan with the West Bloomfield Fire Department. With this current heat wave, we have some tips to help keep you safe. Stay hydrated. Even if you don't feel thirsty, be drinking plenty of water. Avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol intake. Stay inside and stay in the AC as much as possible, especially during the hottest parts of the day. And never leave your children, pets, and elderly individuals even in the car for just a moment. Know your signs of heat exhaustion. This includes nausea, exhaustion, heavy sweating, and confusion. If you see a person experiencing any of these symptoms, move them to a cool area and stay in the shade. And call 911 if symptoms do not improve. Remember, we want you to enjoy these hot summer days, but be safe while doing it. And call 911 if you need.
All great things. Whether you're heading to a park or enjoying a community event or simply just spending time outdoors, taking a few extra steps to stay cool can make all the difference. Hope, remembrance, and community will come together once again as Relay for Life of South Oakland County returns to the Detroit Zoo on Sunday, August 9th. The annual event brings together cancer survivors, caregivers, families, and supporters to celebrate survivorship, honor those we've lost, and raise critical funds for the American Cancer Society. We spoke to Heather Kingery, event lead for Relay of Life for South Oakland County, to learn more.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely, thank you.
Happy to have you on to preview this. For viewers who may not be familiar with Relay for Life, give us a little bit of an overview of what your organization does for those in our local community affected by cancer.
So Relay for Life is a really great event. We are a event that is over 40 years old, and we like to have, it's a walk that now is done at the Detroit Zoo. So we're open to everyone, and it's a chance for everyone to come together, both cancer survivors and people who are still fighting cancer, to remember their loved ones and to just honor those who are still fighting and to, raise money to end cancer as we know it now, basically.
And it's a unique situation because it's a celebration for those who have beaten cancer, who have survived, who are living to tell the tale and raise that awareness, while also bringing together those currently affected by cancer or those who have maybe lost someone to cancer and are advocating for those going through that experience. So as an organization, how do you meld all that together to have a fun event that also does bring light to a very serious situation?
That's a good question. So one of the things we like to do is we have this giant sign that says hope, and we invite everybody to take a moment and write their loved ones' names, both who are fighting, who have fought, who maybe lost the fight, or who have survived, and put their names on this giant hope sign. And it's a really good way as a visual to see everybody that's been affected by cancer. So that's a really good visual for people to see what's going on and people who have been affected. And that's really important to us for the visual for that. And it's a nice somber moment, and yet it's a very effective moment. And people like to take pictures in front of it. And it's just a good way to have everybody be involved with that a little bit.
And there are real stories of how something like that can inspire somebody, can help someone with that next little push, whether it's a caregiver who's struggling with the toll that seeing a family member or another loved one go through that experience, or it's someone that maybe just got diagnosed and is scared and isn't sure what's going to be ahead. How does something like this, bringing all these people together, those literal and figurative signs of hope, actually help people that are affected by cancer?
So listen, as I am actually a cancer survivor going on 8 years. So as a cancer survivor, I know what it's like to be recognized and honored for your struggle and your your daily ritual of going through that, right? And also, I know what it's like to see your family and loved ones and support be honored too, because for me, and I know for everyone, you can't do this fight alone, and you need your support team there. And so that's another thing that we really love to do with this event is it's not just for the cancer survivors or the people fighting cancer. It's also a really great moment for your support team and your loved ones to be recognized for the job that they do and the time that they give and the support that they give for you. So that's another big thing that we really like to focus on.
Heather Kangaroo is with us from Relay for Life of South Oakland County. Their event coming up at the Detroit Zoo Sunday, August 9th. Again, that is going to be on Sunday, August 9th. Time of day will be beginning at about 7 a.m. The gates will open. Activities begin at 8, and the official program begins at 8:30. A full morning of hope, remembrance, action, fundraising, all coming together. There's so many activities planned throughout the day. Heather, give us a little overview about some of the fun and activities people can engage in when they go to Relay for Life in a couple weeks at the zoo.
Oh, yeah, there's so many fun things we have. We like to have a little bit for everybody, right? Yeah. We have, we have crafts, we have a little bit of shopping, we have like cake walks, and we have, we just have so many different things. A really nice thing we do is we have a survivor tent, of course, for our survivors. We want to make sure that everybody feels involved. We also, of course, have the zoo, which is great. If you come in the morning, you can enjoy the event and everything that it offers. The crafts, the cakewalk, the many games. We have lots and lots of games for people, young and old. And then after the event, when the event is done, you can stay at the zoo. This year, we're really excited. We have raffle gift baskets as well. So there's a little bit of everything for people to enjoy. And then you can stay at the zoo and just to be with your family and loved ones there too.
There's plenty of more ways you can get involved too if you're unable to make it out to Relay for Life at the Detroit Zoo. Again, Sunday, August 9th, beginning at 8:30 a.m. RelayForLife.org, place to go, ways to get involved, other ways that you can relay throughout the year to help this organization and the American Cancer Society battle this fight along with people right here in the greater West Bloomfield community. Heather, there are a number of ways to participate, and there's a great message behind this. What do you hope is the overarching message of this year's event as you get ready for bringing the community of cancer survivors, cancer patients, cancer caregivers, and their support system from throughout our local area in South Oakland County in a couple weeks?
Yeah. So, Relay for Life is a really great obviously it's a great fundraiser. We try to, like I said in the beginning, the goal is to change cancer as we know it, right? A couple of things that we've done is, they offer, it's called Hope Lodge Communities, which provides homes, a way for people when they need to go away from home to fight their cancer, at different hospitals and such, and it helps them have a place to stay. We also do Road to Recovery programs, which offers volunteers offer rides for people who don't have rides to get back and forth to treatment. In 2025, we offered over 9,000 rides for people to get to treatment. So it's just, we like to offer these things to people so that they know they're not fighting alone, that you are not in this alone, because as you are fighting and as you are in the midst of all of this and you're making appointments and you are, making decisions and your life is changing and all of these things are going, the most important thing to know is you are not in this alone. And when you are surrounded by people, whether it be your close family or the community, to see your community come out and support you, whether you know them or not, it's just such an uplifting thing that words really can't express. When you're there and you walk the event and you walk around the big zoo water fountain with all of the remembrance bags and seeing people's names, it's a very emotional thing, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah, whether it's directly yourself or someone in your family or someone in your life, cancer, it has a way to be able to affect every single person in our community. This helps to bring that collective community together. Heather, this is also a fundraising effort, and so many people, they want to donate, they want to help local organizations that are going toward a cause that does help people. They have their concerns always when there's so many organizations for big topics or groups like those in the cancer community. So when this fundraising happens, when you bring in the funds from an event like this or from funding throughout the year, donations throughout the year, how does that money go to help people directly affected by cancer, either research, treatment, or other necessities?
So I spoke a little bit on it a second ago, as far as like, we want to make sure that we are, of course, putting towards research. We are trying to help those by, again, with the hopes for community, by helping people make sure that they have somewhere to stay if they need to, by reaching out and making sure people have the rides. There's multiple different things that we offer, and just the advocacy to make sure that people have preventative care, that they have the treatment if you need, just multiple things. You know, there's ways for you to reach out, and if you go to the American Cancer Society, we both have a website and there's a Facebook page. There's ways for you to reach out and to see if there's something that you are in need of.
And then just as of a couple years ago, as of April of 2023, per the Relay for Life website, more than $400 million invested in cancer research grants just from this kind of fundraising. Heather, anything else for us that we should know about Relay for Life this year, coming up in just a little bit, August 9th, over at the Detroit Zoo?
Yeah, I just want to really say, even if you don't know anybody personally that may be involved in the event or participating in the event, I think you should still come out and enjoy the event. You can get your tickets at acszoomart.givesmart.com, and just show your support for the community. Again, I cannot stress how much that is just uplifting for the families to see so much support for people there, to see what people can come out and do and enjoy. And it's just, everybody's friendly and everybody's happy, and it's just a great event. Rain, shine, last year it was very hot, and everybody still really just had a good time. You come out, stay for a while, stay for the whole day. I mean, the zoo's fantastic anyways. So it's a unique event that we have at the zoo. Most Relay for Lives are, I think we all know, usually at a school or something like that. So we kind of have a little unique situation that we're at the zoo, and it's just really great. And being there and showing your support for the community is, I mean, the best you can do.
You can get involved, relayforlife.org, or join Relay for Life of South Oakland County at the Detroit Zoo Sunday, August 9th. Check-in begins about 7:30. Event begins about 8 o'clock, and the formal side of the event about 8:30. Heather, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Once again, Relay for Life of South Oakland County returns to the Detroit Zoo on Sunday, August 9th. You know, although cancer has it's impacted every one of us in some way or another, making these events like this is important, you know, for an opportunity to honor survivors and remember loved ones, and then aspire hope for the future. A day of friendship, inclusion, and community is returning to Greater West Bloomfield later this month. Friendship Circle of Michigan's Walk for Friendship is set for Sunday, August 30th, bringing together thousands of participants to raise awareness and support for children, teens, and adults with special needs, as well as those experiencing isolation. I recently spoke with Rachel Quinn, Marketing Director of the Friendship Circle, to learn more. Rachel, welcome to the Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course, anytime. So what is the Walk for Friendship, and what can families expect on Sunday, August 30th?
Yes, consider this your official invitation. Everyone is invited. August 30th, we begin at 10:30 for our registration. You can pick up your awesome, cool free t-shirt if you register to walk. And then at 11:15, we have our opening ceremony. So opening ceremony gets a little bit emotional, but you get to see the real mission at work at Friendship Circle. So what we do is we are focused on bringing people out of isolation and into community, because you are your best self when you're surrounded by a group of friends. And so we focus a lot on kiddos and adults with special needs. And so we have a lot of extensive programming, and this fundraiser is how we make it possible. We only have 10% about 10% of our program fees cover the additional costs. So this walk and a lot of our other amazing donors cover the rest of that. So we would love to have you out to the walk. We walk the 1.7 miles, and then we have a little celebration at the end. So it's amazing.
I love that. That's so beautiful, and I love how you said it. It's really you'll see it at work when you're there at the event. The community coming out, and like you said, it's important to get people out of their isolated places. And community is very important because it just brings so much out of people that they thought they would never be brought out of them, as far as just enjoying themselves and being a part of it all. Why is the annual event so important to individuals with special needs and their families?
Yeah, so it's a time to really showcase to the larger world that adults and kids with special needs are amazing and should be celebrated and are an amazing part of this community. So it's really cool to be part of the thousands of people walking together, and you get to hear all of their stories. We will endlessly tell you about all of the cool stuff that Friendship Circle does, but getting to hear it from the actual participants will bring you to tears if you're anything like me. Yeah. So it's a really fun way to see all of their excitement and all of their friends and family come together with a larger community.
Yeah, I'm all for shedding some tears. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's such a great thing that you said they're coming out to be celebrated. It's not just them, and you see that, but the families are there because a lot of times they do a lot of work behind the scenes. Yeah. So we're not just celebrating them, but we're also celebrating the families too. It's all beautiful. It's all great things. How does the money? So you guys do other programs throughout the year, and how does the money raised from this Walk for Friendship support the Friendship Circle programs throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, so this is our biggest fundraiser. So this is really instrumental to making all of the programs. We have more than 24 programs for kids and adults with special needs. We have a bakery, we have a cafe, we have an art program at Soul Studio. So all of this is made possible by our amazing donors and everyone who participates in this walk.
That's lovely. If you're just joining me right now, Rachel Quinn joins me today on the Splash Live, and we're talking about the annual Walk for Friendship that is happening Sunday, August 30th. So, Rachel, what happens during the opening ceremony and the 1.7 mile walk?
Yeah, so the opening ceremony starts at 11:15. You come, we get together. There's thousands of people wearing these amazing purple shirts, so you kind of match with everyone. So you can see that you're all part of a larger community. And then there's a couple of speeches, so it's pretty emotional. And then we kick off at 11:45, and so we walk down Drake Road because we start at the Sparber Center, which is Soul Studio and Soul Cafe's complex. And then we walk that if you're able to. If not, we have wheelchair accessibility accommodations available. And then you get to Mirror Center and you get to see our second campus. So we're walking from one campus all the way to the other. And we have a little celebration. We'll have face painting, we'll have bounce houses, some good food, and everyone is welcome. Even if you can't do the walk, you're welcome to come out to the celebration after.
I love that, including everybody, not just those who can, but those who may not be able to walk are still there and able to celebrate. That's such a wonderful thing. I got a few more questions for you. How can individuals, family members, or businesses register or create a team or just fundraise or even just sponsor this event?
Yeah, so we have a brand new website this year. Still the same URL, walkforfriendship.com. But if you've ever signed up before, you need to create a brand new account because we have some cool new features available. And so you can go there, you can make your donations, you can sign up as a team, or you can sign up as an individual. You can either fundraise and walk, or just walk. And so the whole website gives us the capability to get your shirt size, get some information, and then you get to stay tuned of all of the cool things that we're doing. So everything has walkforfriendship.com.
I love that. That's good. Making sure you're marketing, let everybody know, where they can go find. Yeah, it's a great job at it too, finding that information. Last question for you: what message do you hope that the community takes away from Walk for Friendship 2024?
I think it's just what's on my shirt is that you matter. Every single person is important and adds value, and it's our job as a community to bring people out of isolation and into this community. And this walk and things like it are a prime example of how we can do this and how we can show up together as a community and show everyone that they matter.
That's wonderful, and they do matter, and it's such a great thing to come out to do this. It's always inspiring just to see thousands of people come out together for a cause that celebrates friendship, inclusion, and just the power of community. Rachel, thank you so much for joining me today on The Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.
Nope. Once again, Walk for Friendship will be taking place Sunday, August 30th, and events like Walk for Friendship are a powerful reminder that when a community comes together with a shared purpose, it can make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. One of Greater West Bloomfield's most historic neighborhoods is celebrating a major milestone. West Acres is marking 90 years of community, tradition, and neighborhood pride with a series of special events, including a historical society open house that gives residents and visitors a chance to explore the neighborhood's rich history. Joining me on The Splash Live is Megan Galbraith and Kyle Stalter of the West Acres Historical Society. Megan, Kyle, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, Megan, I'm going to start with you. West Acres is celebrating an incredible milestone. I mean, 90 years as a community. What does reaching this anniversary mean to you and to everyone who calls West Acres home?
You know, wow. It's enabled us to continue that tradition that started so long ago in 1936. And we are carrying our responsibility to keep that history moving forward.
That's so good. I love that. And, you know, like you said, it's 90 years is a really, really long time. So that's just such a beautiful thing for everybody just to still be active in this community. Kyle, for those who may not be familiar with West Acres, what makes this neighborhood so unique and why does it remain such a special place for generations of families?
Well, it's truly unique for two reasons: its inception and its enduring spirit. West Acres is still a community alive 90 years later, and neighbors know their neighbors. It's a caring community full of decades-long traditions.
I love that. You know, I myself grew up in a neighborhood like West Acres where it's been, you know, generations of my family all lived in the same neighborhood. And so it's such a beautiful thing to, you know your neighbors, they know your parents, they know your grandparents, all those, you know, amazing things play such an important part of how a community, you know, just stays alive. Megan, how has West Acres evolved over the past 9 decades while still maintaining the close-knit community spirit that it was founded on?
Yeah, it's very similar to what you've just talked about. It's everyone who's lived here. When we think about how West Acres was established, it was low-cost housing for factory workers, and we all had to come together as a community to survive. You know, coming out of the Great Depression, and what's made it important these past 9 decades is the amount of people that have come back to raise their families. We have 50 second-generation homeowners who live here, and 13 third-generation homeowners, and then we have our first fourth generation that moved back 10 years ago. So all of them carry that sense of responsibility of what West Acres means and how we continue that community spirit.
That's just so amazing. Like you said, second generation, even fourth generation, you know, coming back because, like you said, it started as something where it was low-income housing for people, and they all had to rely on each other. It's support, it's community, it's, you know, more than just can I borrow a cup of sugar, but it's more, you know, what do you need help with? And like you said, seeing all these generations coming back to this neighborhood just shows that, you know, it's stayed there, and they all can appreciate, you know, what has been done for them, you know, being residents of this community before and living there. Kyle, what can residents and visitors expect during the August 6th 90th anniversary celebration, and what are some of the highlights that you are most excited about?
Well, the biggest thing is, without our history, we are just another community. The special opening evening featuring a historical display where people can get educated, even the public can come and join us and really get an idea of what West Acres is all about. And we have a very special keynote speaker, Executive Director of Oakland Housing, and Reverend Chris Yaw. He is the great-grandson of Senator James Couzens, who was the man behind man and visionary behind the West Acres project.
Wow, and that's amazing that, after years after that, his relatives, his generation is still there, still a part of and active in the community. If you're just joining us today on The Splash Live, I'm talking to Megan Galbraith and Kyle Stalter of the West Acres Historical Society. West Acre community will be celebrating its 90th anniversary, August 6th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, Megan, volunteerism has always been a cornerstone of West Acres. How have residents helped shape the community over the years, and why is that culture of involvement still so important today?
It's really the backbone of our community. We don't hire a management company to keep everything, all of our amenities, our lakefront, our tennis courts, our gardens, our common areas, and it's all by volunteerism. And that's really how people who move into the neighborhood get to know each other. So that we're all in this together and we're all vested in what makes our community so special and important.
Yeah, it's like you said, everybody's come in, and whether it's taking care of the grass or anything like that, it's because you have invested in the community, because your grandparents and you've seen what they do. It's just generations just regurgitating what former generations have done before them just to move that along. And it's beautiful that you don't even need have to have people in charge or things like that. People take the initiative themselves to want to make their neighborhood beautiful. Kyle, this celebration is not only about honoring the past, but also looking forward to the future. What do you hope West Acres will look like over the next 10, 20, or even 90 years?
Well, that the community continues to stand united on the strong foundation of our history and continuing our special traditions, neighbors helping neighbors.
That's good. I like that. Neighbors helping neighbors is one of the things that was big for me, because whether it's like snowing, I had a lot of older neighbors who couldn't shovel their snow. So me and a bunch of my neighborhood friends would go and shovel their snow, and it was something that we all did for each other because we knew each other. And I think that's beautiful. Just neighbors helping neighbors. That just sums up everything of how beautiful a neighborhood can be, especially after 90 years. It's all about neighbors helping neighbors. Megan, for newer residents, how does West Acres help them become a part of the community and continue the traditions that have existed for decades?
Well, that's a prime example of that through the volunteerism. We have different events throughout the year. We have our rummage sale and our craft fair, which is going in nearly 50 years of having our craft fair every year, where the community comes and enjoys the crafters that we have here. So it all takes a number of volunteers to make that work. So that's where the involvement comes in. So I think because of what West Acres means to the community has also allowed our newer residents to, again, I'm going to use that word again, vested in its success and how our neighborhood has thrived as a result of that. And we've got second generation, third generation that have come back to live here, but the newer residents add another dimension to what makes this important, what has made this community as strong as it is, and the diversity of the folks that there are people from different countries that have moved in here and different backgrounds. And I think that's add to the richness of what West Acres means.
Yeah, I love that. They add to the system of West Acres. And it's all, like you said, after second and third generation have moved back, they're all adding to a system. It's a machine. Everybody has a part to play. And it's beautiful that when people who are new to the area, they also are feeling welcome, and they're not just like, oh, I'm here and, this is a neighborhood and I'm just here. But they're a part of that system, and they integrate into that system. And it's enjoyable for everyone to come, and as they themselves may be a part of making their own second and third generations that will be a part of West Acres. Kyle, as you celebrate this milestone, what message would you like to share with former residents who have helped build the West Acres legacy, and as well as current families that are carrying that legacy forward?
I would say thank you. Thank you for keeping the history and traditions alive by volunteering your time and working for the good of the whole community. It's not a me first community, it's a we first community. This community exists today in its present form because of the work done by those who came before you. We are passing the baton of our special legacy to the next generation. And we like to say, I am the we in West Acres.
I love that. That's such a great saying because it's true. No neighborhood survives on its own. It takes everybody coming together. Even if people leave and come, whoever comes in new into these houses, these places, whether they are, third or fourth or first and second generation, it is a we mindset. It is a community mindset. And that's why places like West Acres have lasted so long, celebrating 90 years, because it is about we. It's not about just me. It's about we. Megan, if someone has never experienced a West Acres community before, what would you encourage them to attend the August 6th celebration and see firsthand what makes this neighborhood so special?
Yeah, please come. Please come and see what our neighborhood is all about and the rich history that has come from Senator Cousins starting this. He has a history with Ford Motor as a mayor of Detroit, and what he brought and his vision to bringing this to West Acres. And his visionary included the landscape architect was a female, and this is in 1936.
Wow.
So this community was based on neighborhoods like ours, and how it's just thrived in the West Bloomfield area. So come learn about our history, come talk to the people that were part of it, and learn more about what our craft fair is all about, which will be the first Saturday in November.
That's wonderful. I think that is amazing that you said there's something that is, really unheard of during that time as a woman architect just designing and being part of that. So it has so much history, so many milestones, so many great things to be, talked about, with this celebration that is happening. And for the both of you, this is my last question for the both of you. Looking back on the community's history, are there any traditions or stories that truly capture the spirit and identity of West Acres? Kyle, I'll start with you first.
Aquacade, for sure. The special memory, I think it's Aquacade is the biggest for many people, but the special memory I have of being woken up in the morning with words over a loudspeaker, "Wake up, kids, it's time to get ready for the parade." And then the thrill and the nerves were ignited for the whole rest of the weekend.
That's amazing, Megan.
That's our special celebration. Our birthday is when we celebrate our birthday, and mine would be my parents. We have 6 kids, and back in the day, we didn't have cell phones. We had landlines, and when it came time to come home, my parents had installed a bell in our front yard. And when the bell rung, the instruction was you come home for dinner. Many people in the community, generations, would say, when you hear Galbraith's bell, come home for dinner also.
That's good. I think that dinner bell is just a signal for everyone. Like every kid has to come home. Kind of like when I was growing up, had to be home when the street lights came on. As soon as the street lights came home, all my friends, we just went straight home because we knew what time, to get ready for dinner and get ready for school the next day, or, just whatever might be going on. 90 years is such a remarkable achievement, and it's just such a testament to the generation of residents who have built the strong sense of community that continues to define West Acres today. Megan, Kyle, thank you so much for joining me today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you would like to be a part of this celebration of West Acres' 90th anniversary, it's Thursday, August 6th from 4 to 8 p.m. And it's always special to celebrate the history of a community while looking ahead to its future, especially one with such a strong tradition of volunteerism and neighborhood involvement. A West Bloomfield High School student is receiving national recognition for his passion for journalism. Max Columbus recently represented Laker Nation at the 2026 Washington Journalism and Media Conference at George Mason University after being selected as a national youth correspondent. Tyler Keefe spoke with him about being able to represent West Bloomfield on a national stage.
Max, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. First and foremost, congratulations on being selected to attend the Washington Journalism and Media Conference. What was your initial reaction when you found out that you had been chosen as a national youth correspondent?
So when I first got the nomination from Miss Jennifer Williamson, I was kind of like, what is this conference going to provide that's different from being in the classroom, and which is very abnormal for me because usually I am one that likes to take advantage of all my opportunities I get. And so after talking it over with my family and realizing it was different, then what I get in the classroom, I was like, yeah, I have to apply, and that this is an opportunity that if I don't take advantage of it, I'm not going to know what it could give me.
That's right. Try. You just have to apply. And it was an amazing opportunity. You absolutely had to go for this, and it sounds like it was truly an amazing experience. But let's go to the beginning. What inspired your interest in journalism and media, and when did you first realize it was something that you wanted to pursue?
So about May of 2022, I started my podcast, Conversations with Max, where I talked to a bunch of different journalists from WDIV, radio hosts from different Odyssey stations, and different school personnel. And I wanted to know about their experiences, why they decided to go into the industries they did. And I found out that I really enjoyed this and decided when I got to high school to take my first journalism class, digital media arts, followed by multimedia production, and that's where we are today. And I keep growing, learning, and developing new skills.
That's right. You learn more every single day. Now, going into what you experienced at George Mason University, what would you say was the most memorable experience or the biggest lesson that you took away from attending the conference?
Well, I'm a lifelong learner. I think you can learn something new every day, and that learning never stops when you become 18 or graduate college. So there's always an experience. I'm currently working on an article that'll be released soon about my takeaways from every speaker. But I would say just the opportunities it provided, the people I got to meet would be the biggest takeaway I got.
Nice. And you had the opportunity to learn from professional journalists and so many media experts. Was there a particular speaker or piece of advice that really resonated with you after the event?
I think just the opportunity of getting to talk to everyone, but specifically with Andreas White-Murdaugh, who's a host of Virginia This Morning. She was like, just raise your hand and say yes. You're not going to be ready anyway, so even if you're nervous, just say yes, because you don't know where it's going to take you. And probably the opportunity of just reaching out to people, connecting, otherwise you're not going to have some of these opportunities.
Yeah, you never know where these opportunities are going to come from. You never know these connections you're going to make that are going to have a lasting impression on your life. Life's a long journey. You never quite know which path you're going to end up going down and which career path you're going to enjoy. But it sounds like everything you've taken away from this experience has only reinforced your love of journalism. And I would imagine that it's great that you were able to communicate with other students from across the country. What was it like collaborating with other aspiring journalists?
So not everyone at the conference who attended came from a journalism background. There were a bunch of people that heard about this and decided to take advantage. There were some that had a journalism background. So to know that when we practice some simulations like the First Amendment simulation or the pitching simulator that we did, that all ideas are welcomed. You didn't have to come from that, but to really get to hear from everyone, hear their perspectives, we're all more common than we know. So just to hear from everyone was pretty amazing.
I would imagine so. For those just joining us on The Splash Live, I'm talking with Max Columbus, a West Bloomfield High School student who proudly represented Laker Nation at the prestigious 2026 Washington Journalism and Media Conference held at George Mason University. Now, Max, as a representative of West Bloomfield High School and Laker Nation, what did it mean to showcase your school and your community on a national stage like this one?
To me, it meant networking, taking myself further than where I am now, getting to meet with fellow aspiring journalists and also people within the profession, just getting to know people and showing some of what I've learned from West Bloomfield and my work and just continuing to build off of that.
That's right. Use that momentum, propel you to the next level. And let's look ahead to that just a little bit. How do you hope to continue developing your journalism experience while you're still at West Bloomfield High School? Because you are going into your senior year, and maybe expanding that knowledge as you head off to college as well.
Well, when I first started this journey, my first interview was with Devin Skillion, and he said, learn everything. So I've really taken that to heart by trying to learn every position within the school and the program, learn every job, learn how to do everything. So as I get ready to transition into my next journey, which I was also on the last day of the conference accepted into the University of Kansas for their journalism and Jewish studies program, that I'll be able to take those skills and just further develop them.
Wow, congratulations on that. Glad to see that you've got things lined up for after high school. Max, a couple more questions before we wrap things up. Do you see yourself pursuing journalism as a future career? And if so, what type of journalism interests you most of all?
So I do everything at my school, with writing, producing, anchoring, reporting, directing. That I don't know if there's a specific role that I would put myself into, because I like to be versatile and know how to do everything. So I wouldn't say there's one role, but definitely I see myself doing something in journalism and communications.
All right, very excited to see what's going to come from that in the future. Last question, Max, before we let you go. What advice would you give to other West Bloomfield students what advice would you give to other students in general who are interested in journalism, broadcasting, or media, but may be hesitant to take that first step?
Just try it. We're all there to support you, help you along the way. You're not going to get better unless you try, and there are many opportunities to try. You can be a little nervous, but over time we'll help you get through it, and we're an awesome group of people to come and hang out with and to learn from. So just join. We're going to be starting up the Orchard Lake Film Festival again this year. Plenty of others. We're doing a Long Beach trip for the STN, Student Television Network. We're going to be doing Skills USA. There's National Technical Honor Society, Join Digital Media Arts, multimedia, podcast production. We've got a whole bunch of different classes and opportunities you can join and learn and be part of the fun in the media program.
Lots of different avenues you can go down, and lots of different ways you can develop your skills and to find something you're truly passionate about. Max, thank you so much for joining us today on the Splash Live, and big congratulations again.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Such a great interview from Jake Shav, and who knows, Max, if he's interested in journalism, you might have a place on the Splash Live. But experiences outside the classroom can have a lasting impact, giving students the chance to learn from professionals and bring those lessons back to their schools and communities, especially as we are, I know they don't like to hear it, but we are nearing close up to some of the first days of school for high school students, but all great things happening in Greater West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Fire Department is looking for the next generation of firefighters and emergency medical professionals. Department leaders are encouraging individuals who are passionate about serving others to explore careers in fire service, where they'll have the opportunity to protect lives, respond to emergencies, and make a lasting impact in the community. We spoke with Blake Belsky, Deputy Chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department, to learn more.
Blake, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, good morning, Jake. It's good to talk.
Good to talk to you, too. I'm sure you'll love hearing that title, especially after the recent induction ceremony. Now, the West Bloomfield Fire Department has been putting a strong emphasis on recruitment. Why is now such an important time to bring new firefighters into the department?
We have a need. This community is fortunate to have a well-staffed, well-appointed, and highly trained workforce in their police and fire departments. We want to continue that. The residents of West Bloomfield come to expect it. They deserve it. They're certainly paying for it, and we want to meet that expectation. We can't do that, though, without employees. We need firefighter paramedics that are ready to come to work and do the important work of serving this township.
That's right. We want to make sure we bring in the next generation of first responders and make sure that they are up to the task of keeping this community safe. Now, I'm curious, what efforts have you been making in terms of making the call for this next generation, in terms of these recruitment efforts?
Well, for years, we've been doing our best to sponsor students going through Oakland Community College's Fire Academy, providing them with some of our spare turnout gear so that they don't have to pay that additional cost on top of the tuition for that fire academy. Back in 2025, we were able to partner with the state of Michigan Health and Human Services, and through a grant, we were able to fund the tuition, pay for the equipment, and a lot of the training required to become an EMT and a paramedic. We've actually put about 60 students through that training so far, with more to come hopefully this fall. That has been an outstanding program for us. We've actually, out of the 24 or so paramedics that have graduated from that program, we've been able to hire quite a few of them, and they now work for West Bloomfield Fire Department, serving the community that also put them through the schooling needed. So that's been a huge payoff. We are looking at getting a bit more creative. We've got a billboard going up, the digital billboards on I-75. As you drive past those this summer, you might see some familiar faces from your fire department saying, hey, we want you to come work for us. We are doing everything we can to make sure we've got people that are excited to do this job working here in West Bloomfield.
I love it, Blake. Popping up these ad campaigns everywhere you go. As you're driving along the highway, you look up, you see your smiling face, or Mark, or Jeff Litkowski, or
face, but there'll be some smiling faces up there you'll recognize.
Absolutely, making sure everybody's inspired wherever they go. Now, when it comes to the role of a firefighter, it's changed a lot in the last several years. How would you say the role of today's firefighter has evolved beyond simply responding to fires?
Well, sure. It's for years, West Bloomfield has provided advanced life support services. So all of our firefighters are also paramedics. That accounts for a bit over 80% of the run volume that we actually see here in West Bloomfield. We've got a lot of nursing homes. We've got a significant senior population. They tend to require those services, and we are thrilled to be able to provide that. With short response times from the 6 staffed fire stations in West Bloomfield, rather than waiting for a private EMS agency to hopefully have a vehicle available. This is something that we've been providing to the community for a long time. A lot of communities are seeing that the private EMS is having the same hiring problems that municipal agencies are having, and the response times are increasing for those fire departments that are relying on the private EMS industry to take up that workload. Not the case in West Bloomfield, but again, we need to have trained personnel on staff to do that work. The fire side of this, it's not getting any easier to fight these fires with the rise in synthetic materials in the homes, the polyesters, the plastics, everything that you buy on the internet, unless you're buying 100% cotton or 100% natural wood materials, they burn hotter, they burn faster, and it is harder to do the job of a firefighter today than it ever has been, in part because of modern science. The things that make our life so convenient make the job of the firefighter that much harder.
I can imagine so. Some things become easier, some things become much, much harder. It just means that you guys are looking for people who are truly dedicated to keeping this community safe. And recruitment is about more than just filling positions. It's about finding the right people. How do you identify candidates who will truly fit the department's culture and mission?
This department is a family. We are every bit as much of a team as the West Bloomfield Lakers that you guys were interviewing earlier. We want people that are going to be great employees, great team members for the next 30 years of their career here. Part of the advantage of these grant programs that we've been using to send people to EMT and paramedic school, a lot of them come back and do their internship with the West Bloomfield Fire Department. That turns into great experience for them, but it's also a great opportunity for us to have almost a 6-month-long interview process where we get to see how these people will integrate with our team. Do they share our values? Do they buy into the culture that we've built here? And that's a great opportunity for us, not just to interview them, but also to sell ourselves, because all the other fire departments in the area are fighting over the same candidate pool. So if we can take that opportunity to show them how great West Bloomfield is as a community, as an employer, that's just another advantage for us.
For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the Deputy Chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department, Blake Belsky, talking about the fire department's recent increase in recruitment efforts. A lot of big campaigns all throughout the community, all throughout southeastern Michigan, to bring people to West Bloomfield to serve on the fire department. Now, Blake, let's look a little bit ahead. Once new recruits join the department, what kinds of training, mentorship, and professional development opportunities can they first expect?
Well, just like a lot of organizations, the basic fire academy and your EMT and paramedic training, that's just the beginning. We don't want people who just want to be good. We want people who want to be the best, and we offer those training opportunities. We have a program for tuition reimbursement if you wanted to go and finish up your bachelor's degree. We have opportunities to join the technical rescue team, the hazardous materials team. We've got a peer support team for all of the emotional and mental health crises that we've identified just within the first responder community. We have lakes, so we've got a boat. We want people who are comfortable performing operations on the water here. We are partnered with a lot of our mutual aid organizations. That provides us a lot of training opportunities. In spite of what we've seen as a trend across the board here, there is still federal funding for a lot of the national training programs down at the National Fire Academy in Maryland. They offer some really fantastic programming, and we obviously support all of our employees seeking that out.
I love it. You're making sure that everybody is comfortable with this position. Comfort is key. That's the big thing I'm taking away, making sure you're happy in a multitude of different situations, because anything can happen when you are part of a department like this. Now, Blake, how important is community engagement when it comes to recruiting future firefighters, especially when encouraging local residents to serve their own community?
Absolutely. The community is what makes this work. If we don't have the support of the community, we don't have a fire department. We are only as good as the community wants us to be. So community engagement is always front of mind, whether it's something as out front as the open house or interviews like this. This is a great partnership. It helps us get the word out about what the fire department is doing for the community. Local newspapers. Getting out to the schools and teaching fire safety at the schools, that's not just an opportunity to show these kids how to be safe in their homes. It's an opportunity for us to engage them. And hopefully we're playing long ball and saying, hey, wouldn't it be great to be a part of this team once you turn 18, 20 years old and get the training and see how cool this is? That's certainly how I was first exposed to this. I had firefighters come to my school and I thought it was the greatest thing. And here we are, a number of years later.
Yeah, I mean, it's that little bit of influence when you're younger, that little moment, seeing those firefighters, that can go truly a long way. And that can apply for you, Blake, and it can apply to everybody. There's probably people you've met at schools who are inspired to join the fire department because of meeting people like you. And looking ahead, what challenges do you see facing the fire service? You touched on this a little before, but what challenges do you see facing the fire service, and how does today's recruitment help prepare the department for tomorrow?
So the biggest challenge that fire departments across the country are seeing is not just recruitment, but retention of these employees. This is a competitive marketplace for anyone with that piece of paper that says they can do this job. They can go to another fire department that maybe they're offering a little bit more money in the salary. Maybe they're offering an extra vacation day each year. What we are trying to do is get buy-in in the culture of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Those trucks out in our bays, they all have the same words on them: kindness, professionalism, knowledge. Those are not just words that we are saying out in the community to make sure everyone votes yes on the next millage. This is something that we truly believe in. And we are trying to get that buy-in from prospective employees that are going through the training right now. Like I said earlier, when these paramedic students are doing their internship with us, this is a great opportunity for us to kind of measure where they are as far as those values, but also to get them to buy in and see that, hey, this is the way to do it. And we've gone from the past couple of years of not having enough applicants to fill the positions that are open to finally we are starting to be able to build a list. And hopefully, while we can't take everyone all at once, maybe down the road as we see more retirements, which are coming, hopefully we can use that long list of excited people to work here to fill some of those positions.
That's right. Staying at it and working to build the next generation. That's what we always love to see, Blake. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Before we let you go, I would be remiss if I did not, of course, touch on your new position as Deputy Chief. This is the first time we've had you on the show since your promotion to Deputy Chief. So before we let you go, I do just want to ask, what are some of your priorities for strengthening both the organization and the level of service provided to Greater West Bloomfield residents as you step into this new position?
Well, I feel very fortunate to be working for this fire department. Chief Lowry, Chief Flynn, going back further, Chief Wiseman, Chief Palperider, and Chief Borg, they built such a strong foundation for this department. They saw the needs of the community. They answered the call for building this department into exactly what this community needed. And as far as big changes, there really aren't any to make. We are in fine-tuning mode. The biggest challenge for Mark and I is going to be identifying the evolving needs of the community, making sure we are responding quickly to whatever it is they need. We know that the population changes. We know that our residential and commercial building, ratio that changes. We want to make sure that whatever this community needs, the fire department is here to provide it. That's going to be the biggest challenge, and it's one that we're looking forward to.
Stay in the course, full speed ahead. We're looking forward to everything as well, Blake. Thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you, Jake. Have a great long weekend.
Listen, a career in the fire service is more than just responding to just emergencies. It's about leadership, teamwork, and making a difference in the lives of others every single day. And if this is something that you feel like you are called to do, to learn more about it, just visit wbtownship.org for more details. Well, that is a wrap on today's show. For the stories that matter and the people who make this community special, stay connected with us on civiccentertv.com and all across our social media platforms. A big thank you to our crew behind the scenes making it all happen, and thank you for tuning in and being a part of the journey. Live, local, social, this is The Splash.